Hello, I am Krista Isaiah White Tumwine Mtabazi. I fellowship with in Truth and Spirit World of Worship Fellowship. We are dealing with the question of creation account, Adam as the first man, and then questions that come like, where did Cain get the woman that he married? If there was only one couple on earth. Now, the question of the creation accounts. Some scholars, Bible scholars, argue that there are two creation accounts, and they argue that the first creation account is in Genesis chapter 1 through to chapter 2, verse 1 to 3. Then the second creation account is in Genesis chapter 2, from verse 7, where God creates man from the dust and then creates the woman from the rib of the man, etc. So those are the two creation accounts. As far as I'm concerned, if it is counting creation accounts, I normally argue that there's also another creation account, which is Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, which says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That is a complete creation account of itself. For me, I actually argue that there's only one creation account, and that is Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That is all. Everything was created and all. Now, these other things that we call creation accounts are just explanations of the actual creation account in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. Why? Because in Genesis chapter 1, from verse 1 through to Genesis chapter 2, verse 1 to 3, they're explaining what was created when, how was it created, why was it created, etc. So when you get to Genesis chapter 2 from verse 7 downwards, the Bible is actually explaining other things, but using the metaphor of origin and creation. All right. So for me, I argue, based on Bible study, that Adam and Eve were not the only human beings that were created. Neither, because there are many people who argue that all human beings came from one man and one woman. The woman is Eve, the man is Adam. But the Hebrew word for Adam, Adama, means humanity or human being. That is what it means. So Adam is not an individual from whom all of us came from. Because when you argue like that, humanity are different races. You cannot argue that the Chinese came from the same man and the Caucasians came from the same race and the Africans came from the same race. Unless if you're not a creationist like myself. But if you're a creationist like myself, then you'll agree with me that we were created at once in our races in different places. So Adam and Eve were not the first couple from whom all races came from, because that is impossible. Unless if you believe in evolution, that we evolved and races is a result of evolution. But if you're creations like myself, then you'll agree that God created at the same time Africans when he created the Caucasians and the Asians, etc. He created all of us in our boundaries. So that's how creation works. It is for that reason that I argue that if you're a creation like myself, then you will be consistent in responding and answering the question of where did Cain get the wife that he married? Because if you say that there was only one single couple, then you cannot respond to Genesis chapter 4, where Cain is cursed, and he said, whoever will find me will kill me. So who are those people that Cain was referring to if there were no other people? Well, if you go back to the creationist view, you will agree with me that there were other people, and that is where Cain got the wife that he married. So it is dangerous to believe that there was only one single couple in the entire universe from whom all people came from. I know there are verses in the New Testament that say that all came from Adam, but they are discussing the idea of humanity. The Hebrew word Adama means humanity. So humanity was created on the sixth day. That is when every person was created and every race was created and in the image of God. So there were other people. We did not evolve from a single couple. We were created at once and in the image of God. So Cain married from other races and from other people that were in existence. So that is the creationist view.